Release the Kraken!
Good evening, fellow game designers. I am Ron with Lame Duck Studios, and here we are again in another tutorial. So we're continuing on from our very simple spaceship from earlier, and we have our ship made, and it's time to start detailing this in Photoshop. Before we can do that, though, we need to do the UVs. So let's select our plane, come up to UV, and UV Editor, and you can see that our plane looks like this. Not so nice, right? We want to lay this out in a manner that makes sense. So let's take a UV projection of it. So I'm going to go up to UV, come down to Planar, hit the options box. We're going to take a picture from the top in this case, so that's the Y. If your object is standing up, like if it's facing whatever compass, so if you look at the compass down here, if it's facing the Z, for example, you'd take it from Z. If it's facing the X, you'd take it from X. In this case, most of my plane is pointing toward the Y, so that would give us the best picture. So I'm going to take the Y, hit apply. It's going to give me a layout that looks like my plane, right? Now this isn't finished. I have UVs on top of each other, so we're going to separate this to make it easier to work on. So the first part is to get the wings. So I'm going to take this wing here, edge, and I'm going to select the edges around the wing. Now I'm not working in symmetry mode because I don't know if it's been changed, but in previous iterations of Maya, symmetry did not work with UVs. Like you could select the UVs with symmetry on, but you could not do any operations with UVs under symmetry. So in this case, I'm doing it manually. So I'm going to grab those edges, so around there and around there. And I want to come up, and I do apologize, there's some differences between 2018 and 2016, but we want to cut the UVs. So if you're in 2018, we have cut and sew. If you're in 2016, you'll see a polygons tab right here, and you want to go all the way down to the bottom and cut UV edges. So I am, in this case, going to use my cut tool. And what that's going to do is going to separate my UVs. So UV mode, so UVs. I'll double click on this wing. I can pull that off. Double click on that wing. I can pull that off. So there are my two wings. And the wings aren't done quite yet. I'm going to find a spot. Now, as I'm moving around, I'm hitting this plane. So let's go to my channel box here. I'm going to hit the V to turn off my planes. Okay. Go back into my UV panel. And to make my life easier, I'm going to combine these. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to do the back of the wing. So edge mode, get the back of the wing, and I'll also need to grab this edge most likely. So what I'm trying to do is when we're doing UVs, we want to make sure that they're flat. So right now they look flat, but they're actually laying on top of each other. So we want to unfold them in a way to where we can paint everything without overlapping. So I'm going to grab that edge and this edge. I'll do that on this side, that edge and this edge. So you can see which edges I have. So this one and that one and that one. I'm going to cut those as well. I'm going to select these two, and I want to use the unfold tool. So I have an unfold tool here. If you're in 2016, it's going to be up here, polygons, unfold. Polygons, I'm going to do unfold. Here's one wing, here's the other. For the body of the plane, I'm going to do kind of the same thing. Since I know I want to paint the window on here, I don't want to cut this up. I'm going to cut up on the bottom. So edge mode, I'm going to grab the edges along the bottom of this. I'm going to get that edge. I'm going to split this one and that one. It's kind of like cutting open a cardboard box. I'm going to get that edge and this one. That I'll leave intact. Okay, so I'm going to go into my cut and sew tools, cut and sew, cut. And then I'm going to unfold it. So UVs, I'm going to double click it. And then unfold. So there's the top part of the plane unfolded. This is the bottom part of the plane. So I'll move that over. And then we have the cylinder, so the back of the jet engine here. So this is going to be easiest if we unfold around the cylinder and then have this be a single plane. So I'm going to grab the interfaces of this object. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these faces. And it's going to be easier if I take this and make it no longer transparent. So object mode, let's go to material attributes. And then I'll bring the transparency down so it's solid. Okay, so I'm going to grab these faces. So this one. And if it's a quad, so if it's a if it's a square, basically, you can select it and then go hold shift and then double click the one next to it and it'll grab the loop. Triangles, unfortunately, you have to do individually. So I'm going to hold shift and just kind of grab those individually. Just make sure you didn't grab anything on the side. So this I'm going to project. That is facing the Z. So UVs, planar options, Z, and I'll project. So there's the bottom of that. And that's going to be nice and flat for us. And then this object is right here, but it's not. It needs to be unfolded. So I'm going to go to the bottom. And the reason I'm going to the bottom is I'm going to hide the seam, the split that I'm going to cut. I'm going to hide that so it's not visible. So I'm going to grab this edge and that edge. And as you're cutting this up, it's good to put seams in places it's going to be hard to notice. So I'll go ahead and cut that, and then I will unfold it. So select it in UV mode, and then unfold. So there's the cylinder unfolded. So now everything's unfolded. I have to line everything up so it's easy to work from. And we need to be in this 0, 1 coordinate space, so this square here. It's easier to see in the older versions of mine. I don't know why they did it this way. Kind of annoys me. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. It's a rotation tool. And move this over here. If you double click on a group of UVs, it'll let you select the whole thing. I'm just going to scale this down. Get this to kind of fit in here. And we want everything to be about the same scale. So the thing people are going to see the most will be the plane itself. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is a good size. Grab both of these, make sure they're the same size. I'll scale them down. And you don't want UVs to really share space. You can do that for color, but for light mapping, you really want them separated. And to keep things simple, I'm going to just keep them separated as I go. Light maps are a bit of an advanced topic, so grab this wing, scale it, find a spot for it. I should really do that for both wings. Grab that one. Grab them both. Scale them down. That one there and this one. Let's see if I can squeeze some more space into here. It's just a good idea to use up as much space as you can. Alright, so that's going to be good enough for our ship. Make sure that as you're laying these out that you're not outside of the 0, 1 space. So 1 to 1, 0. So make sure you're in this box. You don't want to be outside the box. You want to make sure you're good in the middle of the box. Okay. And once this is laid out, go ahead and select them all. And then we want to send this out to Photoshop. So in 2016, you'll go to Polygons and then UV Snapshot. UV Snapshot's down at the bottom of Polygons. In 2018, I think it's hidden under Image. So Image and then UV Snapshot. Make sure you have your UVs selected, so make sure you have them, you see the little green dots? UV Snapshot. And then save this out so you can find it. I'm going to do browse. I'm going to put this inside my design folder. So, and this is going to be ship UV. Hit save. For the image format, just pick the format you like. Maya if format is fine. Don't do a JPEG. They're kind of annoying. I'm going to choose PNG for me. But pretty much everything that doesn't use lossy is probably fine. Bitmap's okay. My if is fine. TIFF is okay. Targa is good. PNG is pretty good, so I'm going to use PNG. Size is going to be 2048 by 2048. That's going to give us some pretty good resolution. The edge color, so that's going to be the color of the UVs. You can change that to whatever you like. I find it's easier for me to see this hot pink color, so I'm going to change it to this hot pink color. And then I'll hit apply and close. That's going to send those out. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. Make sure that you save your work, and we will continue on in the next one.